Sons of Anarchy Season 7, Episode 10 is over, but we're just getting started here on Sons of Anarchy Live. And now, here are the two guys who are ready for a recap to come out of their tummy and be the new recap. I'm Rob Cicero. Here's Josh Wigler. Josh, oh my God.
What's up, Rob? What's up, Rob?
Oh,
my mind is somewhere else today.
What a wild night on Sons of Anarchy. This episode had it all. We had romance, we had intrigue, we had Gemma finally gotten her spot blown up. We had so much to cover here.
An actual trailer got blown up?
Yes, an actual trailer got blown up. In all seriousness, I do think this was the best episode of Season 7 so far.
And I think that's popular consensus. And I don't think it hurt that we opened with a butt montage.
A butt montage. We'll get into all.
I'm kind of disappointed, Rob, that you shot down my idea to begin this podcast with a butt montage today.
Naked, yes.
Yeah. We were just going to get all of the post-show recaps podcasters dropping trowel.
Yes, why not? Why not? And so we got so much to get to, so much to cover here on Sons of Anarchy Live. Of course, we are live the morning after Sons of Anarchy, but this gave us a chance to sort of watch what happened, digest it, got to catch a little bit of anarchy afterward, and we'll talk about some of the intrigue
Your favorite
going
show,
on there.
like.
It's my favorite show.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, we'll talk about all of that. Of course, we're here live. So if you are here with us live as well, welcome in the chat room on post-show recaps. We'll also be following your tweets and comments on our Twitter with the hashtag PSRecaps, and also on our YouTube channel at postshowrecaps.com/YouTube. And I tweeted out the link last night, so we already had a lot of questions coming in from people who watched the show last night, so there should be a lot of interaction going on later on in the show. Of course, make sure you're locked in here for the final 3 episodes coming up of Sons of Anarchy after this one. Subscribe to our Sons of Anarchy podcast feed in iTunes. That's at postshowrecaps.com/Sons iTunes. All right, so Josh, the table is set here now for the final 3 episodes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen, took long enough, but here we are.
Took a long time.
You know, it took a long time, Rob, but I mean, we talked about this last week. Could we be looking at a scenario where it's really just the finale, where Jax has an idea that Gemma killed his wife? At least we've got 3 episodes of this, and I get the sense that just given how much time we've got left on the show, it's got to be pretty jam-packed from here on in. So I'm pretty pumped up.
Yeah, this was sort of like we were in the restaurant. They told us, you know, how long is it going to be till we get there? They said, like 10 minutes. And we've been waiting like 2 hours to get our table. But they finally called us.
They called us, and I hear the food's pretty good.
Yeah, it should be good.
Pretty good. Lots of head chili in our future.
Yes, it's like that diner that Gemma went to.
I know. What was it, blueberry scones? Pretty good blueberry scones, right?
Okay, so let's talk about this. So we had this set up in the episode where Abel is like putting these scratches on his faces, all these like self-inflicted wounds. He said that Tommy scratched him. Then he went to school and he took out the fork and he
forked himself.
He forked himself really good, because that's why you should never give a kid a real fork. Give that kid a plastic fork or a spork.
You know what else, Rob? People are not supervising the children at this school. How was he able to just go into that bathroom by himself without anyone noticing?
And take his lunch.
It looked like he had just snuck away from class, like nobody cared.
Yeah, and he could just eat lunch whenever he wants.
You know what? I'm not usually Team Gemma, but it does seem like this school is worthless.
Yeah, Courtney Love, you think she should be on top of these things. Unfortunately, she's not. He goes into the stall, and then says, Grandma did this.
Yeah, and he could have fallen into that toilet, by the way.
Yeah, because said Grandma did that too.
Yeah, Grandma
came in and pushed me.
Yeah.
And so now he sort of gets exposed as a liar here, and somebody who is trying to, make Gemma look bad. Do you think, after Jax hears this information, Do you feel like there's any part of Jax that says like, oh, here we go again, trying to throw Gemma under the bus?
No way, no way. I mean, I think that he might be skeptical for a minute or two, but he's going to start looking into it at least. And if he really starts looking into it, there are definitely threads he can pull on. We know that the guy that Gemma blamed for killing Tara, that guy was not even in town the night that Tara was murdered. He can find out about that. He really just has to put a few pieces together now that he knows what to look for, and he's going to see that picture pretty soon. And also, the only 3 episodes to go, with this being the cliffhanger of last night's episode, with Abel revealing to Jax why did Grandma. You can't just dangle that in front of us and then not have Jax wake up to what's going on. I think that that's where we're going in the next episode. If not, then that's a serious disappointment. I don't see it going that way. I think that we're here. I think we finally arrived.
So when you say he starts tugging at the strings, like, what do you think is the next move for Jax? Like, okay, like the Abel is saying, here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to wake up or come back next week. It's going to be the next day. We're not going to get all the follow-up questions that you want to hear Jax asking. I think it's just going to be the next day when we start this episode, which will be frustrating. That being said, what's Jax's next move?
He could go to Unser. There's reasons to believe that's going to be the case. I don't know how much we want to talk about the previews, but there's reasons by the previews to think Unser could be somebody he could turn to. He could talk to Juice. Juice is somebody.
Yeah, I have no doubt he gets to Unser eventually, but you think he starts with Unser?
He knows that Unser is looking into this thing. Gemma told him that several episodes ago, back when Unser was when he was signing back on with the charming PD. He knows that he's closely linked there. Maybe he could talk to Jerry through Chibs. So I think that he could be, kind of looking into those law enforcement options.
Do you think he does the thing where he goes and like confronts Gemma directly and is sort of like, any idea why my kid is saying that? Any idea why he's saying that, Ma?
Well, he could do that, but don't we get the sense that Gemma is getting out of town like right away? That's what she says to Nero. She's like, you know what, Nero, that farm does sound like a good idea. So what if she's out of town already at this point?
Boy,
that doesn't look good for her.
Yeah, well, that would be a real change-up for Gemma just to leave Charming for good and not come back.
Well, that's what I don't know if she's talking about leaving for good and not coming back. Frankly, I don't think that she knows what the hell to do, but she knows that she's getting closer and closer to the fire here. But she tells Nero near the end of the episode, she says, if you still want me to come to that farm with you, I'll come check it out. And Nero's all about that. So I think Gemma sees the writing on the wall and sees that maybe now's a good time to get out of Charming.
Okay, well, we'll see exactly what happens. A lot of people, from what I was reading on Twitter and in comments and in reviews, were kind of like on Nero, like, why is this guy even still around? So I'm getting tweets right now from Swamp21 Fox says, Gemma raises a good question. Why is Nero still there? Why hasn't he left her and Charming in the dust?
Because he loves Gemma. I love you, Mama.
Yeah.
I'm always here for you, Mama. Yeah, Nero just loves his mama. He loves Jax's mama. He's not leaving Jax's mama behind.
Okay. Gemma must be pretty awesome.
She seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
She can throw a punch. She can shove you.
I don't like any of those things.
If you're having marital problems, she'll stab your spouse in the head with a fork.
Yeah. Also, we sort of buried the lead with the talking. Well, there's so many leads to talk about, but the whole thing with Jax telling Abel that Wendy is his real mom.
Yeah, that was big. That was a big moment. I liked that scene a lot, actually.
Yeah. And you feel like that was the right time?
Well, I do think that he probably could have talked to Wendy first.
Yeah.
I think Wendy has said in the past, like, I don't need Abel to know I'm his mom. That's not the agenda anymore. I don't care about that. I'm just here to help. And, like, let's say that that's how she very honestly feels, like she doesn't want Abel to know. I feel like Jax could have talked that through with her. That probably would have been a nice thing to do. But as Jax has been doing all season long, very headstrong, this guy. Just kind of lives in the moment.
Yeah. And so do you think we are headed towards a Jax and Wendy reconciliation by the end of the series?
I've said that I hope not. I've also said that I think it's possible. I was kind of getting the sense that there might be something with Jax and Winsome, Lady Greensleeves. I felt like they had some real chemistry, those two.
Boy, I think the problem is Jax has chemistry with everybody, Josh.
Oh, that's because Jax is very attractive and has a juicy butt,
Yes.
a Jaxy butt.
Yes. So, do you, I mean,
This is something I've seen online. A lot of people saying that Winsome looks a lot like Tara, looks a lot like Maggie Siff. I hadn't really even connected that until, Jax and Winsome were boning, which kind of made you think, oh my God, she really does kind of look like Tara.
yeah, so full disclosure, the episode starts and Jax is in bed with somebody who's a brunette. I'm like, who is that? Who is that? And then like it took like by the second time I started like, oh, is that the girl from the Green Sleeves?
Lady
That was
Greensleeves.
the hooker that they brought back and they like, okay, sure.
Winsome.
And now she's like, getting like files and stuff like that. Like, I don't know. I just felt like that was sort of out of nowhere from like, Jax just met her like 4 episodes ago, and now all of a sudden that she's like, not just like sleeping with Jax, but like assisting him.
Yeah, well, she's gonna be his new old lady.
I guess so.
Don't you think so?
That escalated quickly.
It didn't escalate. I feel like the Chibs Jerry thing escalated a little faster still.
That escalated faster too. Okay,
Yeah,
so you talk about the montage.
This is still like kind of a professional relationship here.
Let's talk about the montage. So it starts off again.
Butts. So many
Butts,
butts. All of the butts.
Yeah. So we started off with Jackson Winsome,
Yes.
Greensleeves' girl.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we saw Gemma and Nero.
Yeah, they seem to really be having a great time.
Yeah, that didn't seem like that was that fun.
That wasn't so fun.
We saw Tig and Venus.
They were having a good time.
Yeah, and we'll explore that more in a few minutes. We saw Chibs and Jerry.
Business as usual.
And then we saw Happy with a unknown blonde.
That was weird.
Yeah. We saw Wendy with herself and some mechanical assistants.
I enjoyed that. That was funny.
That was good. I was like, what was it? I was like, well, it was Wendy. Poor Wendy's by herself. Like, oh no,
that was the funniest part of the montage. For sure.
Funnier than Marilyn Manson with Juice.
That was horrible. That was so terrible.
Yeah, that escalated quickly too.
That escalated faster than Chibs and Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marilyn Manson crushing on Juice.
Yes.
In every way.
We'll talk about that more. And then we saw Rat in the montage with a girl who's not Brooke.
Rat, I thought you weren't an asshole, Rat.
Oh boy. Okay, and so those were all the different couples there in the montage. Now, let me just ask a question. So we saw Happy we saw Rat with this other girl. Now, just to get into the mechanics of this, and maybe I'm asking questions that I shouldn't. So, Rat with that girl, does he pay her?
Yeah, it's professional.
It's professional, so there's a money exchange?
I would think so.
Like
Unless it's like Rat's the boss, and so she's just sleeping with the boss.
Like, and the girl that's with Happy, he pays her money?
Yeah, that's what Dios is all about. Paid escorts.
Okay, and
unless it's like employer discount.
Now, Jax with Winsome, he doesn't have to pay.
You'd think not. I mean, he's Jax. She's probably paying him.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Is that like
he paid Jax?
I mean, is that like one of the benefits of being in the Sons of Anarchy? That it's like you get like sort of like a.
That's part of the package deal.
Yeah, you get like
when you get patched in.
The Diosa card.
I don't know. We gotta get patched in to find out all of the rules, Rob.
Okay. All right. So. Of those different storylines, of those different couples that we saw, obviously, a very heavy theme of the couples in this show. It was almost like, are you the one? Not even Sons of Anarchy.
I know.
Which of those couples do you want to drill deeper?
Which one do we want to bang out first? Let's see. Well, we could start. Do we want to start with? I mean, there's nothing to say with Happy. Happy was just having sex.
Yeah, that was fine. We can talk more about Happy and his collecting of the fingers, but we'll talk about Moses in its own. Look at that, its own chapter.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. So I was gonna say, do we want to start on the Happy end of the spectrum, not meaning Happy the character, but talking about Tig and Venus? Because those two are the happiest of all these couples.
Yeah, Tig and Venus. That definitely a complicated story where, Venus, when she first came into the mix, was definitely a punchline and a joke, and everybody had all sorts of things. But then, stuff started to get real this season in the relationship between Venus and Tig, and then they almost had a very complicated and very interesting scene where I couldn't tell exactly what was going on in the beginning of the episode when Venus didn't want Tig around. Like, Tig seemed distant.
Tig seemed distant. So Walton Goggins, the actor who plays Venus, he gave an interview to Entertainment Weekly where he theorized that was the first time that Tig and Venus had gone all the way. Obviously, they'd done stuff before, and they were getting close, and they were becoming more than just friends. But he says that that's the first time that Tig and Venus have sex, and Tig probably is thinking about stuff. That's a new thing for Tig. Tig is into new stuff, but that's a new thing for Tig. And then Venus kind of takes Tig being cold very personally, and looks in the mirror and puts her hand to her face and feels her stubble. And it's just kind of this moment of looking at herself like she's a man for the first time in a long while. So lots of confusion there. I thought it led to one of the best scenes of the night, and one of the best Tig scenes, period, was this final scene of Tig and Venus basically deciding, let's give this a shot. Let's do this for real.
Interesting. I didn't make the connection about the stubble.
Yeah, you can hear it. She puts the hand on her face, and you hear the sound of fingers going against stubble. And it's okay, that's definitely her crisscross to bear, as she calls it.
Yeah, very, very interesting as far as that goes. And then when they get to the Nazis of the Aryan Brotherhood, and they have that big shootout, which we'll go into further detail later, we're sort of forced to confront this, where one of the neo-Nazi guys says, hey, Tig, we hear you're hooking up with a transvestite.
Right. Yeah. So the secret's out. I guess people on the street know that Tig and Venus are a thing.
Yes.
And the Sons seem to be totally on Tig's side on this one.
Yeah, that seems like a departure for me. First of all, let me take a comment here from Jeffrey Trotter, who posted in the chat room. It's not really very relevant to the story on the show, but I was amused when the Aryan Brotherhood guy already knew about Tig and Venus Van Dam. Charming must have a very first-class rumor mill going.
Yeah. Who's spreading all those rumors? The Rat. Who's the Rat?
Hey. Did you hear about this? Did you hear about this?
Is it just Unser? Because Unser watches everybody.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was very interesting. I did find the Sons to be very accepting of this. And, I understand, that, it seemed odd to me that knowing what we know about these characters and where Juice went to such great lengths to try to avoid anybody finding out that his dad was black, and he was ready to commit suicide over that. For Tig to
which in retrospect, given where Juice is at, maybe that would have been a better option.
Maybe that would have been a better option. I was a little surprised that these characters don't have a hang up there.
So I'll say a couple things. One is I think that we have seen the Sons to be a little more progressive recently, with the fact that Jax is willing to patch in the Grim Bastards. Not just willing, but interested. He's told T.O. before, would you want to be a son? And yeah, that had been an issue in the past. As he said, Juice almost killed himself because he didn't want anyone to find out that his father was black. And now Jax is talking about inviting his friends who are black into the Sons of Anarchy. So that rule seems to be bending. They've made fun of Tig in the past for his Venus obsession, but I feel like, I don't know, I feel like right now, with the way that things are in Charming and the way things are with the Sons, Jax needs all of the loyal people he can get. He needs all the friends and family he can possibly get. And in the grand scheme of things, this is something that he can look past. What did he say to the neo-Nazis a few episodes ago? He's like, we're just not living in the 1950s like you guys are. So, Jax Teller, he's a very 2014 kind of leader.
Yes, and it also helps that Clay's not around.
Yeah, I don't think Clay would be into this. I don't think Clay would like this at all.
Yeah.
I think Jax is cool with it. Clay would not be cool with it.
So how about that scene later in the episode between Tig and Venus? I mean, that was really, really intense.
It's like a 10-minute scene between the two of them.
It was very intense. It touched on a lot of different things about
Living inside the box, living outside the box.
Yeah, oh yes, yes. And so, Venus talks about Tig, says, "I know you're a man who dares to dance with the freaks. And I allow you to go there, but now, this isn't just like about sex. Now, this is a real thing." And she says, "It comes with the territory of my complicated identity, but my feelings for you are simpler, and they live inside the box. I've fallen in love with you."
Alexander.
Yes. Yes.
Using his full name. Is he in trouble?
Yes. Oh my God. A lot of full names in this episode. So Venus, saying, "I'm going to put some distance between us," and Tig says, "No, I don't want that."
Yeah, don't do that. Let's live inside the box together.
Yes. Yes.
He's moving into the box.
moving into that.
But it is really complicated stuff and good stuff too. And Venus talking about, "I don't want to get the surgery. I'm a man who knows she's a woman." It's really complicated stuff that I think that they did pretty well. And credit to the writing, credit to the directing of the scene, but the biggest credit of all, I think, to Kim Coates and Walton Goggins as Tig and Venus. I think these two have had really great chemistry together, and those actors seem really, really game to go for this storyline, and I think that they were great. This is something that, on a show like Sons of Anarchy, I don't know that you would necessarily expect this kind of scene to be played delicately, to be played maturely, to be played with subtlety, and I think that they did a really good job with it, and I was really surprised at how effective that scene was.
Yeah, on Anarchy Afterward, Kurt Sutter talked about how that he wanted to tackle some of the gay issues on the show, but was always worried about the comparisons to The Sopranos and Johnny Cakes. And I have to say, I think they did a lot better with this than they did on The Sopranos, where I feel like the Johnny Cakes stuff with Vito was one of the weakest things about The Sopranos, and I feel like this is one of the best things they've done on Sons of Anarchy.
Well, I think that this show, and certainly this season, I think one of the big problems with this season has been it's been kind of cold, it's been kind of ruthless, it's been very violent, and there hasn't been a ton of heart. And I think that the Tig and Venus thing, when they have gone for kind of these heartfelt relationships, like it's with Nero and Gemma, and you're having a hard time buying into it because you're really angry at Gemma right now, you don't really like Gemma right now. Or if it's Chibs and Jerry, it's just so new and really sudden and feels like it kind of came out of nowhere. Or if it's Rat and Brooke, who kind of really cares about Rat and Brooke. But with Tig and Venus, Venus is a really electrifying character. Tig is a guy who's been through a lot. And these guys just have this real chemistry. These actors have this very serious chemistry that translate the show. And I think that this late in the game, I think that scene, that storyline tonight, really brought some heart that I think Sons of Anarchy has been missing in Season 7. So I loved it. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah, it was really great. I wrote in my notes, is this the sweetest scene in the history of the show?
Oh, man, I don't know. You don't think that Marilyn Manson reciting poetry to jail was sweet?
I know, in all seriousness, I think this might have been.
I don't know that you're wrong. And I think the next closest contender that I could think of would be earlier this season when Venus was on the show and Venus and Tig were talking about how Venus is an angel and how Venus is here to heal people and they have their first kiss. I think that would be the second sweetest scene in Sons of Anarchy that I could think of. So yeah, it's a character that's worked really, really well. Not surprising if you know Walton Goggins, because that guy is incredible. Really great. Awesome on Justified.
Fantastic. He did, and he also was on Anarchy Afterward and did basically a 5-minute love letter to Kurt Sutter and to Kim Coates and everybody involved with.
He's a talky guy, but he's good. He's very eloquent. He's great. I love that guy.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the big payoff to the whole vengeance storyline and getting revenge on Marx's guys for the whole thing with Bobby, and we got to see it was sort of a complicated plan, and we didn't really know where it was going, where Tyler was, needed to give up the location of, again, back to the preacher's son and the mother. And I was hoping that the preacher's mom and son, or preacher's wife and son, were just going to get wiped off.
Right, I know you were.
But anyway, so it looked like Tyler was giving them up, and then there was Rat, and there was Tio, and they got captured, and then they ultimately, it was a, classic Sons plan where they think the bad guys think they get what they want and walk into major ambush.
You would think that Moses would be a little better than this.
Yeah.
I feel like Moses would have done some due diligence on this one before just falling for this trap and just getting his ass killed. But stranger things have happened on the show. Pretty good plan. The Sons always know what's up. They know how to do this kind of thing.
A memo to future bad guys that are going to deal with the Sons, like when you think you have the upper hand on the Sons, like,
you don't.
Still just send like 2 guys and like have like a walkie-talkie, and you stay like back in the hideout.
Send your lackeys.
Yeah, send the red shirts out there and be like, okay, we seemingly have what we came here for. Like, okay, you guys stay there for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah, don't go out there yourself unless you want to lose an eye, some fingers, and your life.
Yeah, it was a major thing. So, I mean, how much of this plan was like? I felt like this plan sort of stretched, the limits of me buying it, but whatever, right?
Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It speeded things along. I can't ask for much more than that. But no, I thought it was pretty good, and gave Rat something to do, and
we talked about Rat
a lot. Yeah, let's talk about Rat.
Let's talk about Rat here, because last week we talked about Rat doesn't need his own storyline, was what I said after last week, because Rat and Brooke, it was like, I love you, no, I love you, it's so great, and then we saw Rat sleeping with one of the Diosa girls this week.
I know. Do you feel betrayed?
A little bit, and I said, okay, well, this is going to be Rat's death episode then.
Right. Because he's crossed the line and he deserves to die for that.
And then well, I just feel like Rat's not a good guy. Right. And then we saw Rat get picked up. Yeah, and I thought Rat was going to be the one that was going to give up the location of the safe house. Right. Yeah.
But no, he's in on the plan.
He's in on the plan, and then, or was he just sort of like what was he in on the plan, or was that a Tio Tyler thing?
Yeah, I think that the sense that I got was that it was supposed to be Tio and Tyler, and then Rat just so happens to be there, and he gets picked up as part of it. Like, he wasn't supposed to be picked up by Moses, but he kind of, he improvises and puts up with it. I think that that's what they were implying when Rat and Tio reunite with Jax later on, after they've shot up Moses and all of Moses' guys.
Yeah, but then back at the house, then at the end of the episode, then Rat is back with Brooke.
Yeah. Listen, he just needed to stray from the path for one night.
Yeah, and then they're both snapping at Nero.
I know.
So
I actually liked that moment a lot, where Nero walks home, sees Brooke is wiping Rat's injuries, and Nero's like, "What? Is someone else about to come to the house? Do I have to worry about another attack on this house? Because I just can't take that anymore." I thought that was a very fair response. There's been a lot of drama going on here.
Yeah. John Wayne in the chat room saying that Rat did try to explain himself to Jax, so he did have an issue. But overall, I would say I'm thumbs down on Rat storyline season 7.
Not a big Rat guy.
I'm not a big Rat guy.
You're ratting on Rat.
I'm ratting on Rat. All right, so as far as the revenge storyline goes on Moses.
See you later, Moses.
Yeah, they go ahead and they set the trap. They hide everybody in the camper. All the Sons are hanging out in the basement on top of the roof. I won't get into. Are you buying that? Moses's guys said that the place was clear and there was 50 Sons of Anarchy hiding around. That being said, the trailer explodes. Those guys go out. They shoot Moses in the knee. And then, what do you think of the payback on Moses?
Oh, it was brutal. That was rough. So what do you think? Better utensil for removing an eye. What's the ruling? Is it a grapefruit spoon or is it your hand?
Well, I think it's the grapefruit spoon. I think they make a big deal about that.
Yeah. But Jax just did it with his hand.
He just did it with his hand. No, how about this, Josh? Better to
It's like a very Kill Bill moment.
better to leave Moses like with like an eye hanging out and his fingers cut off and his shot in the knee and alive, or just kill him.
Dead. Kill him. Kill him. Kill him. That's the thing. That's Marx's major mistake. He should have just shot Jax in the head too. He should have killed all of the Sons. No messages. Don't send a message. Send a message by killing the guy.
Yeah.
If you leave Moses alive after that, he could come back at you 2 months later with a prosthetic hand and an eye patch and a thirst for vengeance. Just kill
like the governor. Yeah.
Like the governor. Just kill the guy. Kill the guy.
Yeah. I just feel like if you're gonna disfigure somebody, I feel like the move is then you leave them alive.
But that's the kind of thing I feel like the Sons have a good time with inflicting the exact kind of damage on the person that has inflicted that damage on somebody else they loved. Like, think back to like how Opie killed Stahl, and Opie kills her exactly the way that Donna died. Like, just he puts her behind a wheel and shoots her in the back of the head with like an automatic weapon. That's exactly.
Eye for an eye.
Yeah, like that's how they like it. And isn't that? I think that's how Jax killed the guy who killed or who had Opie killed with the baseball bat or with the lead pipe. Doesn't he just club that guy to death? I think back in season 5.
Yes.
So I mean that's how they like to roll. They like to just repeat the exact offense and then they'll kill you.
Okay, so if I'm gonna ever kill somebody in the Sons of Anarchy, I'm gonna do that in a nice like lethal injection, sort of like in their sleep.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
Boy, so does this mean, Josh? And again, well, to your point, Jax killed. What was the guy's name? Chris. What's his name? That Chris Dunn. He tried to kill him the same way that Tara was killed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So does that mean that Gemma is going in the sink?
Going in the sink, getting the fork? I don't know. Could be. Jax seems like he has that issue that he's got to work out. And Abel is fixated on the fork right now. The fork is still very much a part of the visual language of Sons of Anarchy right now. So I could definitely see that fork being plunged into something again by the end of this season.
Forks are very dangerous. Let's talk about Chibs and Jerry.
Forks of Anarchy. Chibs and Jerry, whatever.
Not buying it?
No, I'm kind of annoyed. I'm a little over it at this point. The whole we shouldn't be seeing each other anymore. Okay. What do you mean, okay? Why are you just giving up so fast? It was terrible. I thought that was horrible.
So who do you think has the moral high ground here?
Neither of them. They're both idiots.
They're both idiots. Like, I kind of see it from Chibs's perspective. I'm having a hard time seeing it from Jerry's perspective.
I'm having a hard time with both of them. I think I'm having a hard time with where Jerry's coming from because she's right. They're never going to be walking down Main Street together, so just give it up.
Or doing some other shite.
Yeah, or doing some other shite.
They're not furniture.
They're not going to be doing any romantic shite anytime soon, so just walk away. And then for Chibs, it's just like, dude, she's obviously just annoying the crap out of you. Just go away. Just give it up. Walk away. Both of them.
Yeah, if he's got that Diosa card, yeah.
Yeah.
What does he need to mess around with Jerry for? But again, I get it for Chibs more than I get it for Jerry. I just don't understand.
I don't get it for either of them.
I don't understand why Jerry is messing around here.
The 6 is great. I guess that must be it.
It's great.
It's great. This shite is awesome. That's all that it comes down to.
Yeah. But, I mean...
if it was shitey sex, I don't think that he'd be sticking around, but it's pretty good.
I think Jerry can do better, with all due respect to Mr. Chibs.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of couples that didn't make the montage, do we have a showmance brewing, a sonsmance brewing between Unser and Egley?
I was wondering about that. Did I not say that on one of these podcasts? I feel like I may have. If I didn't, I was thinking it.
She's like Jax's age. She went to high school with Jax. She's going to date Unser, who's like Gemma's age.
It's not unprecedented.
I guess not, but the idea is you date an older guy that has money.
Right.
Not an older guy that lives in a Winnebago.
Well, he saved her life. That's priceless.
I guess so.
It's priceless.
Let's talk about that scene where Unser guns down the neo-Nazi in the hospital room.
So I can't think of a time that Unser has killed anyone on Sons of Anarchy. Is he saying that this is his first kill?
I believe so. I mean, he was pretty instrumental in the stall thing. He's been an accessory to a murder a bunch of times, but he hasn't really been the trigger guy.
I don't remember seeing it. Maybe it happened earlier on the show, and I'm just not thinking of it right now. But he certainly said like he's never killed anyone in the line of duty. He's only shot his gun like a dozen times. He's wounded a couple of perps. That's it. And then then he's got the moral high ground on Jax. He's like, what does that tell you, son? Unser's had it. He's sick of all this danger. He's sick of all this drama, and now he's had to kill a guy. So Unser's had to cross some lines that he does not want to be crossing.
He does not want to be crossing. The other couple from this episode, let's talk about Juice and Tully.
Jelly.
Jelly is exactly...
I said Jelly, but Jelly is correct.
Yes. Never before has there been a more appropriate couple name.
That was incredible when Juice gets the package of love poems and then the lube, and he just goes, oh no. Oh God.
Yeah. So where do you think this is going, Josh? Now we talked about last week. We were like, well, why is he sending Tig or sending Juice drugs? Does he want him to poison Lynn? But do you get the sense that this Lynn thing is going nowhere?
Yeah, I wonder, and especially if Jax is now hip to the fact that Lynn did not do this. Maybe Jax try to make good by handing Juice over to Lynn, be like, here, kill one of my guys, eye for an eye, something like that, because he doesn't really care about Juice much anyway to begin with. And if it's something like that, now is Tully too much in love with Juice to let Juice fall into harm's way? I feel like Tully's got real feelings for this guy.
Yeah. Is Juice gonna kill Tully?
I think you gotta imagine, yeah.
Yeah, Juice did not look happy at all. And again, it's Juice.
Would you be happy?
Well,
there's nothing to be happy about here. This is terrible.
I don't know. Juice is getting treated better than Jerry is.
With a little more love?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that Chibs is going to be sending love poems or snuggling or any of that shite anytime soon.
I don't think so. Probably not.
So I think that Juice has it better than Jerry. Yeah,
it might be. It might be true. Probably not, though. Probably actually not true. It probably is. It's probably the worst. What's that?
I think Juice and
this is some classic Oz stuff going on here. Some classic Oz shite going on Sons of Anarchy right now.
I mean, look, if in a world where Tig and Venus can make it work, why can't Jelly happen?
Oh man, I don't know.
No, but who else loves Juice? Nobody's treating Juice that well.
Nobody's treating Juice that well?
Who? Who else? The Sons, they tried to kill him.
Yeah, I guess all that Juice wants is to not be alone.
There's one person that Juice.
Yeah.
And he's Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, he's Marilyn.
He's a neo-Nazi.
Could be worse. Could be worse, I guess.
Look, and he's a powerful person. He knows people. He can get almost anything he wants in prison.
Yeah, he gets to visit solitary.
Yeah.
Whenever he wants.
Yeah, well, I mean, what else does Juice have going on?
Nothing.
There's one person that's trying to be nice to Juice.
It's pretty bad. I don't know where this is going. I feel like this is bad. I feel like
it's not going good.
I feel like it's not going to end well for anybody. I feel terrible for the Juicy Butt today.
Mm-hmm.
It's all bad.
It's not good. John Wayne in the chat room wants to know, what is Tully going to do if he finds that Juice is half black? See, that's where I think that this is going to be more of an issue there.
So he doesn't care that he's Puerto Rican, but he would care if he's half black?
I guess not. I guess the heart wants what the heart wants.
I feel like he's just, I don't know. I don't think that I think he's past discriminating with Juice at this point for a variety of reasons.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. How about, let's see, let's go to, can we talk a little meta stuff about Anarchy Afterward?
Sure, but I haven't watched it. You're the Anarchy Afterward correspondent.
No, a very interesting thing happened. Of course, we talked about how awkward it was last week, where they had the whole thing where Bobby was on, and it was very awkward with the host, whose name is Chris Frangiola. And then this week it was announced Chris Frangiola suddenly his stand-up schedule became incredibly busy, and he can no longer make the commitment to do Anarchy after these final 3 weeks. And Kurt Sutter himself was stepping in to replace him.
Oh my God.
Josh, are you buying the sudden Chris Frangiola major pickup in the it's like, where's Chris Frangiola? Tell me, Jax, where is he? Where's Chris Frangiola?
In a construction yard somewhere on one of August Marks' construction sites?
Yeah, where is he? Why the turnover Chris Frangiola to us, Kurt Sutter?
Oh my God. What if we just get Chris Frangiola's head on somebody else's body with fake arms?
That being said, the Kurt Sutter version of Anarchy Afterward, while it was interesting, I felt like it was more of a DVD commentary than talking about what really happened in the episode. It was a lot of like, all right, hey, Charlie Hunnam, why don't you tell us how you met Chibs and talk about this. Like, there was not a ton of actual talk about the actual episode.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I don't know if Kurt Sutter's the guy I want to moderate the Talking Dead equivalent of Sons of Anarchy. You know,
right.
He's somebody who I think you want on as a guest. You want to pick that guy's brain. You want to know everything that he's thinking. But I think you need to get somebody on there who's going to ask him the questions and kind of drive the conversation. Because I think you got to have that episode recap agenda for a show like Anarchy Afterwards. So I don't know that Sutter would be my choice to moderate the thing. I would have him as a permanent fixture on there, but I don't know.
Oh, it was great. I mean, you couldn't ask for better guests, but I really did feel like you needed a
Chris Hardwick. You just got to get Chris Hardwick in there.
Yeah, you needed Chris Hardwick to come on and say, like,
this is Chris Hardwick's jam. You know, he's great for this stuff. Just get that guy all the time.
Like Kurt, it was just like Kurt Sutter sort of bouncing around with those two guys. And again, it was interesting, but it was not very specific to the episode that we just watched.
Did they do any forecasting, like where's the show going to go from here or anything like that?
My DVR only recorded like the first 2.5 hours of Sons of Anarchy stuff last night. I eventually reached a point, but they didn't talk too much about where the show is going.
And I think that's part of the point. Like, it doesn't behoove Sutter to tell you where the show is going next. He wants to protect those secrets. He doesn't want to tease up anything. He just wants. Can we
talk about what we saw?
Yeah, he wants to just talk about the show. He wants to talk about the process. He doesn't want to tell you where the show is going. I think you would want a Hardwick type to be like, so what happens next? Where are we going? And ask those kinds of questions.
A Wiggler type.
No. I put this on. This is all Chris Hardwick.
Yeah.
Chris Hardwick's the only man for the job.
Okay.
I think that's what you want. So I don't know.
Okay. Let's go ahead. What do you say, Scott? You want to get into some questions here? Okay. First of all, Scott. So Scott has an he had an infographic for us. He wants to. Scott, do you still have that? The comparison between Winsome and Tara. What do you think about this? Okay. So how close of a comparison are you buying? The Winsome Tara on the split screen.
They look a lot alike. Winsome's missing like the chin dimple.
Yeah.
But they kind of look alike, don't you think?
I could see it. I wouldn't say a lot alike, but sure.
I feel like I could see like that the casting notice for Winsome was like, find somebody who looks like Maggie Siff.
Yeah. So Jason Burning, he wants to start off. OMG. That opening montage was a roller coaster. LMAO. Poor Juice.
Oh, poor Juice indeed. Poor Juice. That was so rough. That was terrible.
Yeah.
That was really horrible.
But again, I will just say, and as somebody who's never been experienced a prison rape, it did feel like it was coming from a loving place as opposed to I'm gonna beat you up and then and take what I want from you.
I think there's a lot of problems with what you've just said.
Am I being insensitive?
I think you're being insensitive.
I mean, I just feel like that at least it's I understand Juice did not want that to have happened, and so that's probably
this was not number one on his list of things to have happened to him. I think it's probably pretty far down on the list.
But I'm just saying, at least Marilyn Manson is making an effort to romance Juice a bit.
A little bit. He's trying to woo him a little.
Yes. Okay.
That's good. We've got one in from Stephanie Elizabeth who says, whoa, like mother, like son, #Abel, #all Gemmas must die. Wow. Is Abel taking pages out of the Gem Amaro playbook?
Yeah, that was sort of a Gemma move to go ahead and do this, right?
Yeah, I think so. And this next question is related, so let's just get into it. Harry Schaefer.
But it was more like a Tara move. What he did, very similar to what Tara did with the season 6 business of the miscarriage, right?
That's right. That's absolutely right.
And it was all to frame Gemma.
Yeah. And again, this is related. Harry Schaefer says, any scene with Abel is still creepier than Boyd Crowder in drag or story time with Marilyn Manson. And I think Harry has a point that Abel is just the most terrifying person on the show, capable of so much horror right now.
Yeah, I mean, he has a very stilted delivery.
Yeah, his voice is horrifying.
It's very creepy.
Good night, Daddy. Are you my mommy? Come closer so I can stab you with my fork.
Yeah, you never know what he's going to do. I mean, I'm captivated when he's on the screen. Mark Slayer says, so Jax forgets to mention to Abel how he was a crack baby who was kidnapped and brought to Ireland, where he was almost given away. Father of the Year much? Could that explain anything that's going on with Abel?
That he's a crack baby?
Is that anything?
I don't know. It might be. Abel, remember how I told you that you were kidnapped and spent a year in Ireland, and it was the worst year of Sons of Anarchy? Yeah, I remember. That sounded pretty horrible. That sounded like the worst season by a lot.
It was some shite.
It was some real shite getting you back, Abel.
Green.
No. No green sleeves.
Sing Abel a lullaby, quick.
Oh, God.
Films are best. Did you find it weird that Abel's school didn't even take him to the hospital or call an ambulance?
I find a lot of things weird about Abel's school. I think Abel's school should be shut down. Call child services on the school. Abel's allowed, as what is he, 4 or 5 years old? He's allowed to just run around and go into the bathroom, into the adult's bathroom. That wasn't a kid's bathroom. Look at the size of that toilet he was sitting on. With his lunchbox, he has all this time to very carefully take his shirt off. Has all this time to scrape up his forearm with a fork. It's terrible. Yeah. How did that happen?
I don't know.
Courtney Love, you're the worst teacher ever.
What did you think about Investigator Saeed?
Investigator Saeed? Was that the name?
That was the guy who was working with Courtney Love.
Oh, my God. I didn't know that. I didn't pay attention to that.
That's his name.
Wow.
Oh, my God. He's a torturer.
Human lie detector. I am a torturer.
Okay. KRN Dance. Also, not to be a prude, but since when can you have so much sex and nudity on basic cable? Josh, do you know the lines on this?
I don't know I think the lines are blurred at this point. We're talking some blurred lines right now, and I don't know if we wanted it. It was intense. I don't know. I can't think of a show that's been quite that raunchy.
I mean, I'm pretty sure at this point we can't say the F word and we can't show a nipple.
Yeah.
Or any genitalia. I think that's the line.
They say shite and without the E so many times on this show.
Yeah.
So that's gone. That's out the window.
I think South Park was really the first show that sort of figured that out, that you could say that word on basic cable.
Was that the big shit episode?
Yeah, they said it 200 times in one episode.
Oh, that's a great episode.
I think it's pretty much that you can't say the F word and you can't say and you can't show a nipple. I think that's pretty much the line.
Breaking Bad has had some pretty famous F-bombs that they've dropped over time, but they're always bleeped out, I think. And it's few and far between. It's one per season that they've done. But I don't know if they've actually aired the F-bomb on the show. Although I'm trying to think last season, Hank Schrader has a great F-bomb. I don't know. I don't want to get too much into Breaking Bad, but sometimes they can drop an F-bomb, I think.
Yeah, honestly, I think the rule is that legally, I think they can do whatever they want, but I think that from a standards and practices issue, I think it's self-enforced. I think it's just for the advertisers, they don't want to go there. But I think that technically they are allowed.
Yeah.
It's not like the broadcast networks.
Fines up the wazoo.
Okay, here, take this next question.
All right, we've got this in from Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem? Looks like Solid Snake. Mayhem says, wow, that ending. Abel obviously going to do something big because otherwise they wouldn't show him on the screen that much. And what was up with all those sex scenes in the beginning? Juice did not look happy. Yeah, we've covered that. Juice was not happy. I don't think
what
Juice
was up with all those sex scenes?
I don't know. The love was in the air and in the bed sheets tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sinfire has a good question to tag on to the topic. How come Wendy can't find anyone to have sex with?
Yeah, you would think out of all the people to have sex with, I wonder if that's why maybe they're saving her for Jax.
I hear you, and I think that that's what she would want, and I'm not ruling it out by any means. I think it's still pretty likely. But Jack's kind of saying to Abel, having this big moment where he tells Abel that Wendy and Wendy and I are just happier being friends. Like, we were married, but now we're just friends. And like, he kind of delivers that in a way that, to me, kind of seemed like, how do you walk that one back? I feel like that line is in there for a reason, that I think that maybe it's just going to be a platonic thing between Jax and Wendy, and Wendy's great love is going to be having her kid back in her life.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Oh, God, what was I going to say?
A mechanical love.
Oh, yeah, it is a mechanical love.
Let me ask you a question. So where's Wendy living right now? So at the start of the episode.
She's at Gemma's house, right?
Okay, so she's like living out of a suitcase?
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think that she ever moved back into her place after.
Okay, so that's so does Wendy travel with her own accessories, or is she just what's
Was that one of Gemma's?
Is she borrowing?
I don't know.
That's
maybe don't leave home without it.
Don't leave home without it. Okay.
It's an essential.
Mr. Star Clockable says, I don't think Jax will believe Abel because he told a lie about Gemma at school. I hope Juice spills the beans.
Mr. Star Clockable. I don't know. I wonder about that. I think that Jax is on the hunt now. We've got 3 episodes left. No more dilly-dallying. It's time for Jax to just find out within the first 10 minutes of the next episode.
Okay. We'll see. I think it's gonna be. I think the end of this next episode. I think that's when it's gonna really.
Oh no, we can't check it out.
Gemma raises a good question. Why is Nero still there? Yes, we talked about this earlier.
Yes, yeah. I mean, Nero. Listen, I love you, Mama. I'm here for you, Mama.
Nero's never getting to that farm, right?
No, probably not. Probably not.
And that sucks for Nero, right? Because he's a good guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's sad. It's sad. All right, we've got one in from Harry Schaefer who says, question for the podcast. Is T.O. one of the actors that played Gordon on Sesame Street? I don't know. I'm not so hip on my Sesame Street these days. Rob, you're a father of a young son. You watch a lot of Sesame Street.
I'm sure it's not. I'm pretty sure that Gordon still is on Sesame Street. So I don't think that that is Gordon. We'll have to IMDb that.
How much Sesame Street do you watch on average, Rob?
Not a ton, because my son is he's more of a Tommy than an Abel at this point.
Uh-huh.
So it's a little over his head. He likes the puppets. He likes Elmo, but he thinks he's Ernie. He calls Elmo Ernie.
Yeah, he says Annie, right?
Annie. He's very excited to see Elmo, but he calls him Ernie. Let's just check in with our characters, and you tell me now, with 3 episodes left, who's making it to the end and who's not, Josh?
Sure.
Jax.
Death Watch.
Updated Death Watch.
All right, are we talking to the end or through the end, when it's all done?
Wait, 3 episodes from now, 3 weeks from today, when we talk about the...
I think it's going to be 4 weeks. I think they're skipping a week.
Oh, they're skipping a week?
Yeah, Thanksgiving's coming up.
But the show airs on a Tuesday.
I don't know.
They don't need to skip a week.
I know, you're upset.
It's just like, well, I mean, let's...
It's going to be okay.
We haven't dragged this out enough.
December 9th is the finale.
December? No, are we how many weeks are we skipping?
Mark that down.
Okay, December 9th is the finale. So I presume we will have an episode next week.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna skip the Thanksgiving week.
It sounds like it.
And then have an episode December 2nd, then December 9th.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. 4 weeks from today.
Okay.
When we sit here December 10th and talk about it, even though we'll be live after the finale on December 9th. Okay. So after when December 10th rolls around, who's still alive and who's dead? Jax.
I'm gonna say dead.
Jax is dead.
I'm gonna say dead.
Gemma is.
I think Gemma. I'm coming around. I don't know that Gemma can make it out of this thing.
Yeah, Gemma's got to be dead.
I think she's gone.
Nero is.
I want to say Nero's okay. I want to say Nero's alive.
Alive.
I'm going to say alive.
Okay. Unser is.
Unser's never dying. Unser is blessed with immortality, and him and Eggly live. Him and Eggly go to Nero's farm.
Okay. Anybody else that you think is going to be a shoo-in to be dead? Juice?
I think Juice has a good chance of being dead. I could also see him, being in jail with Marilyn Manson forever. Shades of Miguel Alvarez on Oz. I could see that. I could see that happening.
The other sons are going to be okay, right? Chibs is fine. Fine.
I think there's a good chance that another son will die, but I'd be hard pressed to make a prediction on which one it would be. I feel like one or two probably has to go.
I think another.
I think like Happy has to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah, I think another son will die, but I think it'll be Juice.
You think it'll be Juice? You think that's it?
Yeah, I think so.
I think Tig's fine. I think that we got to have Tig and Venus as a thing. I think that's got to be maintained through the end of this thing. You got to have like one character.
They have immunity. They have immunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think the only other character I would say is definitely going to be okay is going to be Wendy. I think Wendy's fine.
So let's do one last question here today. Nita says, you guys are awesome. Could Jax kill Gemma? Would he be able to do it? Did you watch Conan last night? Cast was there last night.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of I saw some video clips of the Conan stuff with Jax. Conan became a member of the Sons of Anarchy.
Yes.
Did you see that?
No. As somebody pointed out on the subreddit for Sons of Anarchy, like, how am I supposed to watch Sons of Anarchy and Anarchy Afterward and Conan last night?
It's a lot of Sons of Anarchy at the same time.
Yes, and it's like 5 hours of Sons of Anarchy stuff.
That's basically just an episode of Sons of Anarchy to begin with.
No, I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully.
I was also going to say, like, I was really bummed that it took us 10 episodes for Jax to find out that Gemma killed Tara until I remembered that there's probably going to be like 10 hours in the next 3 episodes. So
yeah, so
we should still be pretty okay.
Plenty more. All right, so we've got 3 more Sons of Anarchy left to go. Make sure you don't miss any of it. Subscribe to our feed on iTunes. Go to postshowrecaps.com/sons iTunes. That's the way to go ahead and sign up for our podcast. Get every episode on whatever your device you use to listen to podcasts, and we also appreciate it when you rate and leave us comments on iTunes. That's a big help for the show.
Absolutely. Definitely do that.
All right, Josh, in addition to our Walking Dead coverage, which we do every Sunday night on post-show recaps, what's coming up for you this week?
That's it for me this week. We were going to be doing Game of Thrones book club today. We have to push that back a week, so you can count on that on November. I think it's going to be November 19th. Whatever's a week from today. I think that's November 19th. So we're going to be doing that. That's going to be very fun. And we also have next week on Lost Lives, we have Andrea Gabriel, the actress who played Nadia, is going to be joining us on that. So we're going to talk about her time on Lost, and that's going to be taking place 10 years after the first Saeed flashback episode. So that'll be very fun. And, of course, we've got a lot of other stuff going on. Mike Bloom and Kurt Clark going strong on Once Upon a Time. You've got the Seinfeld podcast still rocking. So post-show recaps, alive and well right now.
Parking Garage this week.
I know.
It's all happening.
It's good.
No Chibs and Jari hooking up, though.
Jari.
All right, everybody.
Or is it Jelly? I don't know.
Oh wait, we need a hashtag here, Josh.
Shite?
Shite? I don't know if people want to tweet that on their Twitter.
I don't know.
So let's see. You want to give Creepy Abel voice?
Hashtag Creepy Abel voice works for me.
Creepy Abel voice.
Yeah.
And it's also and then when we see that hashtag, we will also say it in the Creepy.
Yeah, we'll be reading your tweets in the Creepy Abel voice. So make sure that you write your tweets so that they sound good in Creepy Abel voice.
All right, everybody, have a good one. Let us know what you think in the comments on post-show recaps and on our YouTube channel. Have a good one, and we'll be back after Sons of Anarchy Season 7, Episode 11. Lucky 7-11.
Lucky 7-11. Let's do it.
All right, take care.